New York. 8 million people.
Fire 2 more risottos. That's 4 all day. Fire white.
New York is the undisputed dining capital of the world.
All I want to do is just win.
This is a spit you up and chew you out business.
24,000 restaurants.
El plate. All the food is sitting here.
My goal is to have the best restaurant in New York City.
3 businesses fighting for their piece of a $34 billion industry.
There's always a next great restaurant opening.
Are we as busy as we want to be? No.
An empire in transition.
With Michael gone, the pressure is unilaterally pointed at me. For the first time ever, we lost money. We have a problem, and if we don't turn it around, we go out of business.
A high-profile partner going it alone.
I've learned how to open up a successful business with Daniel, and now it's time for me to go out and do it on my own. I'm raising $1 million. It's absolutely a scary thing. I'm putting everything on the line.
A headstrong restaurateur struggling to win over New York.
If this relaunch does not succeed, I really have to pull the plug on the restaurant.
In this world, you either eat or get eaten.
Trust me, this is not a witch hunt.
What if we do it and the people simply just don't like it? You really want me to say that on camera?
I want the truth.
Consumed. Previously on Consumed.
I found a space for Seymour's. It's $23,000 a month.
That is scary. That's more than we wanted to spend. The budget for the Seymour's project is $1 million. I haven't raised all the money for the restaurant yet, so I'm gonna take the $100,000 that I'm investing into the business and write a check and secure this lease.
I've been doing some thinking about using underutilized species of fish.
Serving sort of junk fish is a huge risk.
Meanwhile, at the meatball shop.
I raise a lot of capital for a lot of businesses, and I really think I can help you guys take this brand and build it into an empire across the U.S.
I know we have to open more restaurants, and on one hand, it's better for me if we open them. It's not good for anybody if we open them and they fail.
And at Vermilion.
Are we as busy as we want to be? No. When I read our first New York Times write-up, my blood froze. So I've decided to relaunch Vermilion New York so that it finally gets the credit that it deserves. Let me lay it on the line. Until our team is ready, we will not relaunch. So it won't be long before I'll know very clearly, is New York going to be a success, or do we need to close doors and exit? Our relaunch is literally a few weeks away now, and we've begun training the wait staff, but at the end of the day, what people come to our restaurant for is unquestionably for the food. In response to our New York Times debacle, I've hired a new culinary team to revamp our menu.
It's too big, make a small one.
Before we relaunch, we have scheduled our preview tasting of our new menu, and for this I've invited friends and influencers. To me, testing our new menu is incredibly critical because it's imperative that we test what we're relaunching with, because I could like it and my culinary team could love it, but that's a market of 4. So today, I'm tasting a few dishes from our new menu. These dishes need to exceed expectations because we're under a real time crunch now. Anoop, you ready?
Yep.
So what's the order?
So the first thing gonna be about, we're gonna have a steak.
It's pretty. Have you tried it?
Yeah.
Are you getting undercurrents of bitterness at all?
Yeah.
Yeah. The smoke is making it a little foul. Okay, what's your next dish? So this is bacalao.
Yeah.
So is that malanga then?
Yes, it's malanga.
And this is bland and pedestrian almost. New dish?
New dish.
It's tasteless. It's absolutely like bland and tasteless, the sabudana. In your mind, is this better than what we have currently?
No.
People automatically assume that because you're a woman in business, you're going to have a warm and nurturing style. But that's not my style. Unremarkable. Unfortunately. What do you think? I tend to be fairly brusque. I'm very direct. It's still missing something. Nothing's changed. This is all about change.
What's in your mind, like when you want to change the flagship dishes, what exactly you want to change?
I want to keep the base the same. Keep the sauce the same, keep the ribs the same, and add that. Remember we were talking about the wow factor? Something fun and playful, you know? So that it's not just a side or sitting on the dish. Do it again. Because we have only 2 weeks till the relaunch. We need to nail our menu. We can't do PR until we nail it. Today's tasting, I have to say, net was underwhelming. I'm deeply worried. We have 2 weeks to like really finish this and the gap is still tremendous. Time is ticking. PR starts next week. I'm anxious about the flagships. We need a home run.
Let's talk expansion opportunities.
Today I'm meeting with Max, the Senior Vice President of Operations for the Meatball Shop, and we're meeting to discuss efficiencies that we can find as the Meatball Shop grows.
As we continue to grow the brand and as we continue to grow sales, great problem to have, right? We're gonna need more meatballs. The Meatball Shop currently, we spend $600,000 in labor just at the commissary, which is extremely high. As we grow more shops, we should become more productive in the commissary, but we don't want to add any more labor dollars. So let's just say we go from 6 shops to 8 shops to 10 shops. We still want to spend $600,000 in labor costs. So it's probably time for us to start considering, you know, the meatball machines that we had talked about before.
Oh my God, it's so depressing.
The only way to become more efficient without adding labor is by adding technology.
Or whips.
I think we have to be very careful about introducing automated technology around something that we've really branded as this handmade product.
I don't disagree with your approach whatsoever, but I also know that when we go to another city, we have to be able to supply those shops. And when we go from 6 to 50 shops, the only way for us to maintain that consistency is by adding technology.
I guess I'll go see Larry and see what he's got going on over there, and if there's anything that translates for us.
He certainly is going to be the guy that can help.
Look at that. Look at that. Let's get a quick picture. Come on.
Is this, oh, we're in Montauk.
We're in Montauk right now.
Beautiful. So I think Sean's gonna help bridge the gap for us. I think Sean and the Dock to Dish guys would help us keep our food costs at where we need them to be. I mean, I've discussed food costs with Sean, and I told him I'd like to not be over 30%.
My goal in Seymour's is to offer the most fresh, delicious seafood at an affordable price, just like Daniel and I did with the Meatball Shop. But more popular species of fish, like salmon, tuna, halibut, are so expensive that I'd have to charge higher prices in order to make money. And making Seymour's affordable is super important to me. And so I'm thinking about taking a big risk using these underutilized species of fish. They're less expensive, and so they'll allow me to keep prices down.
We have to keep our food costs at 30% or better. And I think by utilizing these species, we will be able to do that.
After the conversation that Greg, Robert, and I had about sustainable fish, I've been doing a little research, and I had an incredible conversation on the phone with Sean Barrett, the guy who's running the company called Dock to Dish. Dock to Dish is a community-supported, sustainable fishery out in Montauk. And guess what? Their fish that we could potentially work with is a lot less expensive. Like, a lot less expensive. So we're gonna see if sustainable fish is the right decision for Seymour's.
Fellas.
Michael.
How are you?
I want to introduce you to PJ Beckwith.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
And Bruce Beckwith.
Hey, how are you?
It's a father-son duo.
This is Robert and Greg. Robert's the general manager of the restaurant. Greg's the chef.
Robert, nice to meet you. I kind of mentioned to you guys what we're doing at Dock to Dish a lot is trying to focus on the less popular, really abundant species. Back to the original catch of the day, like what's truly local, what's truly sustainable, what is our ecosystem providing for us? Unfortunately, a lot of restaurants are set up where they're demanding from you guys. They're like, we want swordfish. And right now, there's no swordfish landing here. So this is a different type of business model altogether that's going to be accepting just the supply.
Sustainability is sort of one of these buzzwords right now. That said, sustainable fish means trash fish, junk fish, fish that like fishermen catch when they're fishing for tuna and throw back over the board.
What type of fish are you guys catching that is hard to push into these restaurants?
We catch a lot of different species, but some of the ones, like even sea bream, we catch a quantity of them sometimes, and you know, we don't get that much money from them. Butterfish, skates, ling, sea robins.
Right.
The problem with the fish, and I say problem because it's a problem, they're poorly named. Like the ugly monkfish, spotted tilefish, spiny dogfish, lionfish. They're fish that most people don't really know about because you don't see them on menus.
The average individual that eats seafood once a month comes into a seafood restaurant and wants to have that piece of salmon and sees Montauk sea bream or skate or squid on the menu and doesn't see that piece of tuna, salmon, cod, sea bass. That individual is going to say, you know what, this isn't for me. So, like, I am taking a risk, and we are taking a risk. And we are putting all of our resources into this basket and saying, hey, we're going to be at the forefront of this movement. And the fear that I have, what if we do it and the people simply just don't like it? You know, am I scared? Yeah, I
Don't be. Here's why, Michael. Let me explain this to you. On this side of the dock, you've got this fish that your guests are going to be eating is literally the healthiest food on Earth. And it's our job to get it to you in the safest, fastest, freshest way possible. From there, I have full confidence in you, specifically with definitely the team you put together, to make that delicious, to make people say, Montauk sea bream, it's so good at Seymour's. Montauk squid, longfin squid, I've just never had fish like that before.
I will get these fish less expensive than I would pay for salmon, tuna, you know, all the big four fish. But I still need some convincing. Because if Seymour's doesn't work, it'll be devastating.
Coming up,
Today, I'm signing a lease for the new restaurant.
I need to put $92,000 down on the space in order to secure it.
It's all mine. It's all my money. This moment right now, where I'm sitting right now, is when most people bow out.
and later.
There are 5 people standing around.
I'm gonna plate the last one.
Help plate. All the food is sitting here. Our guests have been waiting too long for courses. Guys, I'm very upset with the food timing.
So first we're gonna go over the ceviche. The next thing I wanna do is go over the taco. The third thing we should nail down is the bream. It might not fit into a ceviche.
Greg and I are gonna cook some of the fish that we took from Dock to Dish. I've never walked into a restaurant and ordered dogfish, ever. So if we decide to go with these underutilized fish, they better be delicious.
I mean, that's off the chart. A little spicy for me, but... yeah, that hits the menu. I mean, I'm sold. But I think that that's a winner, and that's gonna win every time.
You wanna move on to the tacos?
Yeah.
Awesome. So this is with Fluke. Obviously, this is something that'll be char grilled. And that's one taco.
It's flavorful.
That is the sea bream.
That bite was unbelievable.
This is golden spotted tilefish.
I mean, that's pretty delicious to me, man. Like, actually.
Taste-wise, I'm blown away. You cannot beat the quality and freshness of this fish.
Let me just make a quick phone call to Sean just to see. I just want to get the price per pound on that sea bream.
Hey.
Okay, I'm sitting here with Greg, and we're cooking. And what I'm trying to figure out is, what is the cost per pound, on average, going to come to us for the sea bream?
It's gonna be $3 a pound. Winter skate, we're giving these guys like $1, $1.50 a pound. Whole sea robin, the large ones, it's like $2 a pound around there.
These prices are just ridiculous. I mean, if we were using something like a sea bass or a striped bass, they'd go up to $15 a pound.
Thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it. I'll holler at you in a couple of days. I mean, that was great. It seems like we could be getting most of our fish for about $3.50 a pound. And that's good. I mean, that's what I get beef for.
If I can put 2 ounces of meat in a fish taco and charge $7 for it, we can make the fish affordable for our guests, but also make our concept profitable.
You know, our food cost on this is gonna be around 25% because the fish is so accessible.
I think we've made an enormous amount of progress here because now we have the sort of...
We know we can make money off of this.
Right.
We know we're gonna be in business.
I think I figured out what I'm gonna do in terms of the fish. Now I just need to go out and raise some cash.
If automation can help us expand without increasing labor costs, that would be amazing.
So I'm going to meet my friend Larry Prager. He runs a huge operation out in New Jersey, making hundreds of thousands of pounds of veggie burgers and fish sticks a day. Hey, Larry.
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you?
Yeah, good to see you.
Hey, good to see you, man.
Hey, Daniel. How you been?
Great. Yeah, so what's going on?
As we expand, we're looking to make the meatballs more efficiently and cut costs. And I know you guys make a ton of
Veggie burgers, yeah.
veggie burgers and fish sticks, and we were thinking maybe we could learn something about the machinery and just how you guys set it up.
We've gone through similar growing pains, starting out at making, 500-pound mixes and going up to now, 15,000-pound mixes. So
I think if we could do like 15,000-pound mix, we could just do one.
Do one a day and
no,
just
it
be
would be
done
like
for the year.
one a month.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
All right, yeah, I mean, all the scalability really helps with controlling your costs and, controlling the quality of the product. And I think where you guys are lucky is that, there's meatball machines out there. You're not reinventing the wheel.
You know what the other thing I thought about was like a sauce portioning gun for the line.
Just be a bunch of our employees squirting each other with hot sauce. Just...
So I think that there's a lot of scalability you guys can do. There's all different types of, mixers you can look into, different sizes and different approaches that'll handle the meat differently.
The problem we're having right now is we can't make enough meatballs to supply the stores if we're going to continue to open more stores without increasing the labor force. And we don't want to increase the labor force. I spend $600,000 a year in labor hours, which is a lot of money. So the goal would be to automate part of the process, but if it screws with the texture and the size of the meatballs, it's not worth any amount of savings.
So guys, let me take you over here. We're going to show you a little bit of the process so you guys can get an idea of some of the scalability that there might be. So after the product's fully mixed, we then put it into smaller size bins. So from there, we're dosing it. We bring it over here to our patty former, and it'll go up on a hydraulic lift and dump it into the hopper up there. After it goes up into there, we have different plates that set the size of the burgers. This is not so dissimilar to exactly how you do meatballs. You'd mix them in another room, you'd transport them over, and you'd have a machine that manufactures balls. This would be the same process you'd almost use at home. Yeah, but then, 6,000 pounds an hour. That's incredible.
Honestly, the machines at Dr. Prager's are really impressive, so I'm willing to test drive a meatball machine. I want to taste these balls.
Today I'm meeting with Strauss Zelnick. He is a very successful businessman, one of the most successful businessmen I know. With Seymour's, I'm very confident about the concept, but am I fully funded? Not yet. I'm close. I have a number of commitments, but I'm still about 200,000 short.
Hey.
All right, man.
How are you?
Very well.
Good to see you.
You too.
Come on down.
And so I need Strauss on board.
I'm going to ask him to invest in Seymour's.
Mike, can we have an espresso for Michael, please? Thanks.
The restaurant business, it's a risky business. The projected annual sales for Seymour's are $3.5 million, with a check average of $32 per person. After we subtract annual labor cost of $1.2 million, food and drink cost of $1 million, operating expenses and rent, we're left with a 9.6% profit margin of $336,000. 100% of those profits are paid directly back to the investors. And if we make our projections, they will be paid in full within 3 years. However, if we don't do $3 million in sales, we don't break even, and we can't begin to pay our investors back.
I've come here to talk to you about Seymour's. Ideally, you'd invest in the concept and potentially be a part of the investing team.
Okay, well, let's talk about it.
All right. What this is a sustainable seafood concept in an accessible price point. There is an abundance of wild, sustainable seafood that is line caught, like right here, that nobody utilizes in New York because the names of the fish don't do well in the marketplace. When I come to the market with a sustainable concept, I think people are going to give it a go.
Well, it's risky. I mean, and it's not just risky because it's a restaurant, but it's a completely new and untried concept.
There's a big gap in the market. I know that I can bring something to market that is exciting for the masses.
All right, so let's get into it. So what does it cost? Like, how much are you looking to raise? How much does it cost to start this thing? Give me the basic metrics.
Sure. I'm raising $1 million. I'm putting in $100,000. I'm looking to raise from outside investors $900,000, making up 40% of the business. I'm keeping 60% of the business. Each point is worth $22,500. The minimum participation is 2 points, making $45,000 the minimum commitment.
Like of that $1 million, how much does it cost
to build the restaurant?
Well, to like get the doors opened.
$900,000 to get the doors open, and I'll have $100,000 in the bank in operating capital.
Are you sure that's going to be enough?
I can only sort of estimate based on my experience, what I'm going to need to keep this restaurant going and very successful.
What's your time frame on putting this all together and, my decision point?
I found the perfect location.
Really?
I feel like it is the right space, and I'm gonna put down the security and the first month's rent on this store because I don't want anybody else to snatch it up.
The clock is ticking.
You're in.
I'm in. I'm full throttle, you know. I'm in sixth gear.
You know, I'm not a professional restaurant investor, and so I'd be looking at this as a personal matter, and what you've done with the Meatball Shop is amazing. You know, that said, my lens for looking at new opportunities really it's a really tight view.
Understood. Understood. Yes, I'm anxious and I'm scared.
Good job.
I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
You know, this is the life of an entrepreneur.
After that abysmal tasting, the team and I are going to put in extra hours, whatever it takes to get this menu right. Because if this upcoming influencer tasting doesn't go well, it'll be a huge setback for us. Because we'll have to go back to the drawing board for the relaunch. So the plating is horrible, but the halim was delicious. Like, you can't stop. So we have to use it somewhere.
Okay.
Maybe mix it up with something that you're doing.
Yeah.
It is imperative we wow people with our dishes. We're scheduled to relaunch in just a few weeks, and we need glowing reviews. The only way to succeed with the press is to have outstanding food. To me, it doesn't taste that different. We're getting there, but we still have a lot of work to do.
You don't look like an ass. Oh man, too bitter.
Revamping Vermilion New York's menu has been a really costly process for us. First, I needed to build our culinary team, which means a new co-executive chef.
I'm gonna sprinkle this dry chutney on top.
We held an all-India competition. The winner of that we flew in, and that cost us well over $20,000. On top of our regular lunch and dinner service, we are diverting their time, and we are having them work extra hours to the tune of at least $3,000 a week dedicated to developing this new menu. We've also purchased new tableware, dishes, everything to revamp the presentation of our new menu. Apart from the fact that there's a whole spend and expenses on ingredients, revamping the menu is altogether close to 50 grand for us. So it's not trivial coming up with an entire new menu. My biggest nightmare and fear is that there's a possibility that we won't recover any of this unless it really, really resonates and people love us for the new menu, the new food, and it changes our fortunes.
Let's do this. What is this now?
So that's a degustation kebab.
Yep.
In a beef kebab, we chop fresh mint, cilantro, and the chicken kebab, we just go a little more citric.
Is this gonna fall apart at the table?
The thing, you just go to push it like this.
I see. So the server will have to do one.
So we'll have to do one. First,
okay,
initially,
okay.
just to prepare the gas. And
Okay.
after that,
Okay.
gas.
Can I taste them?
Oh, yes, please. What do you think? As I said, we put
Little salty.
little salt.
Right?
I consider myself a big part of our culinary team. It's not just them, you know? It's me with them, pushing ourselves to do better.
I want every dish to have like a truly standout flavor, not just be conceptually clever. At the end of the day, it's the flavor that matters, right?
So we have to really, really nail it.
I still want you guys to work on the flavor.
We'll stay all night if we have to.
Maybe if we add a little more lime to it or something.
All right. Park this thing over here.
Spending $13,000 up front on a meatball machine could save us hundreds of thousands of dollars in labor costs as we expand. But it's not worth any amount of savings if it screws up the meatballs.
This thing is amazing.
Holy look at that thing.
I want one of these for my desk. Bro, I'm ready to make some meatballs.
do it.
Magic happen. Can we do it?
Yeah. Wanna do that? Auto balls. Auto
You ready?
balls. All right. Well,
Let's see how it works.
that's a quarter kit. Let's check it out. Hit the red. Wow.
Dude.
Just like that, huh? Holy.
How much do they weigh?
50 grams.
How much do we want them at?
56, 57.
Yeah, we got
56.
56 grams. Ready?
56.
Why don't you get on the other side of the table and see if we can keep up with the machine?
Let's do it. All right, let's do this.
Wow.
So this is the fast transmission they got on this machine, huh?
Holy I think we're getting laughed at.
Okay.
Yes, you can make more meatballs this way.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing is like about 10 times faster than any human person could ever work. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The balls look very consistent, but they feel a little denser than our other balls. Do you agree?
I do.
So let's just do this many. Let's roast them off, and then let's actually see what we
Let's
think
see what
of
the
them.
tray looks like.
Yeah, let's taste the meatballs and actually taste them.
At some point, machines are going to have to come into the process if we want to double or triple our output. But we are not going to let them up the balls.
All right. Let's try these.
Hey, we got meatballs.
Look at that.
Oh, good meatball.
That's not bad.
All dense.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have a different texture on the outside than the hand-rolled balls.
And they're just smaller looking.
It tastes like our meatballs. It just could be a little bit fluffier.
I still love the idea of using a machine to, you know, speed up our process. But these are not the Meatball Shop meatballs, and it's not worth sacrificing quality.
I mean, they're very close.
Almost imperceptible. But I don't want to go into the store and have one customer say, is there something different about your meatballs?
Yeah.
And
It should be
especially the small thing.
Yeah.
The small thing is the one that makes me the most nervous, because all of a sudden people are going to say, oh, these guys got cheap. And it's like, well, they're the same weight. And it's like, oh,
Right.
yeah?
I mean, the guys at Bridge have another machine that's a step up, a big step up, but maybe it's better. Maybe
Let's give it a go.
the one that's going to work for us.
I mean, they're definitely uniform.
Coming up,
I'm supposed to get a phone call from Strauss.
Yeah, it's Strauss.
Strauss, how are you? It's an intense day for me. I'm signing on to a 15-year commitment today, and I'm still raising capital. In an ideal world, I had all the money in the bank account at the time of the lease signing. But I know that this space is critical to the success of Seymour's, so I simply cannot let it get away. I have to sign the lease. 92 G's, handing it over. Gentlemen, morning.
How are you, Michael?
All right. Michael. Hey. How's everything? What's up, Moses? All right.
These are the revised leases. I know you've seen it 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 times. We've all have. So you are signing in a representative capacity. Alan is signing on behalf of Chappaqua Realty and Management Co., Inc., which is the agent. So we'll start. If you sign here, please, just your name.
Taking a lease without being fully funded typically would be a mistake. Am I doing it?
Okay, tenant.
Yes. Do I feel confident about it? Yes. Am I scared when I go home and try to close my eyes at night? Yes. There's something that I think you need to understand about Michael Chernow. I stand on the edge at all times. Not like just like with my toes hanging over the edge. I stand on my heels with my whole foot hanging over the edge, because I just need to live my life that way.
This is the addendum on the printed portion of the lease. Get their copies.
Whew.
This is for us.
And we start.
Keys.
Party.
Wow.
Perfect.
So you have full access.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Perfect, thank you.
Fellas, thank you very, very much. I'm excited. It's going to be great. Right now, this is all on me. This is my first sort of venture stamping my name and solely my name onto a project, and I've got a lot at stake. This could be it. Got the keys. Thank you. Thank you. This could be it, like, wow, this guy really knows what he's doing, or this could be it, like, wow, Mike Chernow did an awesome job with Daniel at the Meatball Shop. He went out to do Seymour's and didn't work so well.
Where are the banana leaves? Let's start putting them on each and every one. Anoop, if the first course is late, then everything will be late.
At 5:10, we have to have the first degustation and the cocktails going.
5:10?
Yeah.
I thought tasting at 7 o'clock.
No, it's from 5 to 7. They have to be gone at 7.
My team has been working tirelessly to revamp the menu, but we really won't know how it's been received until people taste the food. For tonight's tasting, we've invited friends and influencers to try out our new menu.
3 of our very important guests leave at 6. We better get at least 4 courses in. No, just put 2 on each. 2 on each. Thank you.
We have an ambitious target of well over 27 dishes to test, and we are already behind.
Kunjali and Rohini, pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Pradeep.
Hi,
how are you?
Long time, years and years.
I've invited 25 people that I think very highly of.
Come, do sit down. Thank you. I keep reading about your daughter.
Those who've traveled extensively and whose opinion I respect tremendously, because at the end of the day, it's not just about what Rohini likes to eat. This tasting dinner is a very important milestone for us.
I want to thank you all for being here tonight. You have in front of you an ambitious list of trials. We're going to be knocking out 27 dishes in less than 2 hours, of which half an hour is already gone. Just want to see how you gauge it, and that's it. Cheers.
The kitchen's behind right now. I'm not going to be happy about that. We're going to put it in order of the sheets this time.
Just need to get it out there.
Yeah.
Small? No, it's way
We
behind.
just need food, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing, no food there. It's been 1 hour.
My team is behind. We've got 27 dishes to execute. These are all new dishes, and we don't have a sense of their actual execution timings. This is a real test for my culinary team. But people are waiting out there, and unless we get these dishes to them, there is no tasting.
Guys, I'm very upset with the food timing. First course. What were we thinking? Guys, I'm very upset with the food timing.
We're off to a rocky start. These are the critical people whose opinion matters to me, and our guests have been waiting too long for courses.
What are we short of? Are we just short of hands to plate? Is that all that's holding us back?
Our kitchen really needs to step it up.
There are 5 people standing around.
I'm going to plate the last one.
Yeah, help plate. All the food is sitting here.
Ready for the beef?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Start running, start running.
My biggest fear going into tonight is that the dishes are mediocre. I cannot stand mediocrity.
This here is our first category of bar snacks.
Can we fix it if things go wrong? Yes. But if we're fundamentally headed in the wrong direction, and if not enough of the dishes resonate, then there's something wrong in our judgment.
The crisp kale salad is the spinach-looking thing. Then there is the tamarind pork belly bun. And then there's the crab chowder with hints of ahi pepper and pasilla Latin tones.
Nice, very distinctive crab flavor. Isn't it good?
The kale is absolutely amazing.
Good,
Really,
good, good.
really
Come, I'll see you out.
That is gorgeous.
Really gorgeous. I must say, Rohini, it's really good.
Feedback has been genuinely amazing. They're saying you're ready, your dishes are fabulous, they're unique, there's no one like you, now you need to get yourself out there. Okay, Javier, the desserts were a home run. My culinary team, they proved themselves tonight, so I just couldn't be happier. It was lovely. They pulled off an amazing job. So this is our new culinary team, and lovely. I'm so proud of my team. I myself was not sure until now. So now I think it's about the marketing. The PR is our last big push before the relaunch. I've got it right there.
Yes, I'm very ready. Actually, I'm always ready for a cocktail. I'm your person.
Gentlemen, hey, how's it going? Welcome to Meatball HQ. How you doing? Hey.
Nick.
Good to meet you.
Daniel, nice to meet you. Hey.
A few days ago, we tried out a small meatball machine. It didn't work well. The meatballs were compressed, and the texture was all wrong. The guys at Bridge say they have a better machine for us to try, a bigger machine. So we're going to give it a try. But if it with the quality, it's not worth it.
I'm very, very picky about the balls that I put in my mouth. This is a dedicated meatball former. It's all it does. So it's going to give you the closest to a hand-formed meatball that you can with a machine.
How much is a machine like this realistically going to cost? $37,000. Seems like a lot of cash.
Well, I can tailor a finance plan for you And do you do meatballs in trade?
$37,000 is a lot of money. But a meatball machine could save us hundreds of thousands of dollars in labor costs as we expand.
Let's do it. Let's watch these meatballs, meatball magic happen. Should I turn on? It's so quiet. It's so anticlimactic. I want like a big, like...
Ready? Start it up.
I can see the improved texture from here.
I mean, we need it to be bigger.
Yes.
Trust me. Look at that.
There it is.
No matter what the increased productivity is, it's going to come down to what these meatballs, you know, how they taste and feel.
Correct. I would say cook a tray of them and see what they look like.
You know, what's funny about this is that it doesn't bother me that they're a little misshapen because it is a handmade product. Right. If you want to taste one of the most delicious things that you've ever...
You know what I
eat
do?
this thing.
It's going to have great texture, too, isn't it?
I like it. I like the texture.
That is good.
I mean, without blowing smoke up your ass, I think that this is exactly what I want. I like these meatballs. I think they certainly need a little bit of work, but I can see how this machine could help us with our expansion.
It definitely will help you grow.
I'm thrilled with this meatball machine. It's going to enable us to keep labor costs down and expand without raising meatball prices. Plus, the balls taste great. Thank you for coming down here and doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for trying it out.
Honestly, thank you.
Really,
Yeah, we appreciate the opportunity. We really do.
very informative. Thank you, guys.
Haven't consumed enough? Visit the show at cnbcprime.com/consumed.
If someone asked me, should I sign a lease without being fully funded? Immediately, I would say no. But I didn't because the opportunities like this do not come by often. Everybody will love me later. So I'm here at the space, and I'm actually just hanging out because I'm supposed to get a phone call from Strauss, and if he does want to invest, you know, what's next is getting our building permits to actually start swinging the hammer in the restaurant. And of course, the Department of Buildings, I love you guys so much, but you make it tough. You know, people are trying to build constantly. Hello?
Hey man, it's Strauss.
Strauss, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm really well. So you looked over everything?
Yes, I did. I had an opportunity to go through it in detail.
What are your thoughts?
You know, I think it looks really promising, and I think it's really smart, and I think it's an unserved niche.
So what are you thinking about? I mean, are you thinking about getting involved, or?
I almost never invest in restaurants, and I almost never invest in friends' businesses. But in this case, I really think you're a phenomenally talented entrepreneur, and I think this is going to be successful, so I'm happy to make an investment.
Wow. I can't thank you enough.
I know you'll do a fantastic job, so I'm happy to be part of it.
Welcome to the Seymour's team, my friend. I am so grateful, so grateful for you being a part of this. And I can promise you that I will do everything and anything to make this the most successful venture that you've invested in the restaurant space.
Great, and we'll catch up soon.
Thank you, Strauss. Have a great day.
Okay, take care.
Bye. There it is. This obviously hasn't been easy. I feel very confident about this location, the concept, everything. But when it came to raising money, you know, it's always hard. But just having a guy like that on my team just makes me feel really good. Makes me feel like I've done something to deserve a guy at his level to be a part of it. We're ready to start construction. Gosh, it's like a weight lifted off my shoulders. Strauss was the last piece of the investor puzzle, and Seymour's is officially funded. The floodgates have been opened, and, you know, it's not gonna look like this for much longer. Here we go.